How much money have the top guys made in dirt racing in 2022? I've got some numbers to share, plus a track tarping their surface, James McFadden and Brad Sweet down under, and more. Let's go. It's Thursday, November 10th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is Dirt Tracker Daily. Hurricane Nicole, now downgraded to Tropical Storm Nicole, is impacting the southeast over the next few days. It's over Florida right now and will trek north over the coming days. That means it will affect this weekend's Flow Racing Night in America season finale at Sonoya Raceway in Georgia. The Peach State Classic is scheduled to pay $20,000 to win on Friday for the super late models and $53,000 to win on Saturday. They were supposed to have action tonight for some of their local divisions, but as of this morning, that is canceled, and the track is going to work towards getting things ready to run on Friday and Saturday with the storm approaching. And they're taking a page out of the baseball playbook and are planning to cover the racing surface in tarps. Obviously, the hope is that they can keep some of that rain out of the track and then be ready to go with a full program on Friday when the storm has cleared. And actually, I'm going to put this on the screen. This is a picture from just a little bit ago as I record this of tarps down on some of the corners already. So this process has begun. Certainly applaud the effort to try and get the weekend in, and kudos to them for having enough tarps available to cover the track. Hopefully it works out for them and they're able to get a full weekend of racing done for the fans and competitors. The Pollard family has done a bunch of work to improve Sonoya and to be able to put on big shows like this. The forecast for Saturday does look pretty good once the storm clears out, 65 degrees and no rain. Track's located south and a little bit west of Atlanta off Highway 16. If you can't be there this weekend, Flow Racing will have live streaming coverage of both days. Across the country, out in Las Vegas tonight, the XR Super Series begins 3 nights of racing for the Duel in the Desert. Tonight and Friday are $20,000 to win, while Saturday is $40,000 to win. Late models are joined on the card by stock cars, modifieds, and Northern Sport Mods. The Saturday stock car feature pays a very nice $25,000 to win. That one could be wild. And that one might be worth the price of admission just by itself. Top of the big money for the late model teams. Saturday is also part of the XR Triple Double. 13 teams will earn double prize money on Saturday for perfect attendance between the Colossal 100 at Charlotte, the Kokomo Dirt Nationals, and this weekend at Vegas. Those teams are Ricky Weiss, Ross Robinson, Kyle Strickler, Brendan Smith, Dalton Wilson, Jimmy Owens, Shane Clanton, Tim McCready, Chris Madden, Jonathan Davenport, Jeff Smith, Brandon Overton, and then the Viper Motorsports car, which was Max Blair, now Tanner English. So if one of them wins on Saturday, they'd get $80,000. They had open practice last night at the track. Looked like pretty close to 30 late models participated. I don't know how many sessions they got in, but I saw in one that Tanner English was quickest in that Viper car. If you aren't nearby, you can watch all weekend long over on XR Plus. Racing gets going tonight around 5 p.m. Pacific time. And while we're on the topic of dirt late model racing, it was announced this morning that Hall of Famer Jimmy Mars is retiring from his driving career effective immediately. His famous 28 machine will continue running, though, with Dustin Sorensen taking over as driver. Sorensen is fresh off his championship season with the USMTS Modifieds, where he picked up 5 wins in 38 starts and a nice $100,000 for winning the championship. This new pairing will debut during the Wild West Shootout in January at Vado. Mars ends his career with victories across dirt late model racing, a lot of victories, including with Lucas, Outlaws, the Summer Nationals. His big scores include the USA Nationals, the Dirt Late Model Dream, the Topless 100, the North-South 100, the Prairie Dirt Classic, the Firecracker 100, and the Dirt Track World Championship, among others. Looking through kind of his stats, that 2009 season for Mars was just insane. He plans to stay heavily involved in the sport, though, as he continues to work with brother Chris on their house car program with Sorensen and obviously their MB Customs chassis company customers in late model racing and modified racing. You can find more on the announcement over at jimmymarsracing.com. And payouts and money are always an interesting topic of conversation, an ongoing topic of conversation around dirt racing. And my guy Jared sent me a big spreadsheet breakdown this morning of some key drivers around the sport and how much they've made so far in 2022. Because of a lack of accurate information on a few races, kind of in the hundreds he's included, he said a couple of those races are educated guesses, but they should be pretty damn close. And they're current as of last night at Rocket Raceway Park. His leaderboard includes Jonathan Davenport, Chris Madden, Matt Shepard, Tim McCready, Brent Marks, Brad Sweet, and Dennis Erb Jr. So here is a look at the list ranked by total winnings. No surprise to see Davenport at the top with that Eldora Million victory and a total right now of $1,886,979. I like the column here as well with money per race. That's an interesting thing there. So Davenport, 76 races at that 1.8 million number, about just shy $25,000 per race. Matt Shepard's number of $711,440, completely bonkers. But he did basically win every big Northeast Modified race this season, and his race count of 96 is also nuts. I believe this is week 45 of 2022, so that means Shepard averages more than 2 starts a week. Brent Marks are obviously pumped up on this list as well. He's got those 2 big Eldora wins. And Brad Sweet's tally is interesting because in the end, he won the title with the Outlaws, but only 5 Outlaw races. Several of these are not final numbers as well. Guys still have some shows left on their calendars. Matt Shepard is still running the Cajun Swing with the Short Track Super Series. Davenport, Madden, some of these guys, McCready, are running this weekend out in Las Vegas. So these numbers will be added to here coming up. Thanks for the breakdown, Jared. Keep up the hard work. You can find him on Twitter at JaredRector19. The sprint car season here in the U.S. is now basically done, but our friends in Australia and New Zealand are just getting started. The Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic at Premier Speedway is coming up later in January, and there'll be a pair of World of Outlaws drivers present in that one, both driving Napa Auto Parts cars. Champion Brad Sweet will pilot a Napa car for Landrigan Motorsport with his usual number 49 on the wing. Definitely a little bit different looking car than we've seen from Brad, but still very recognizable as a Brad Sweet car. And James McFadden will drive a Napa car in partnership with Hodges Motorsport, with that ownership group also including broadcaster Gerard Whateley, footballer Jack Rewalt, and IndyCar driver Scott McLaughlin. If you aren't aware, the Classic is basically like the Australian Knoxville Nationals. Super big race there every year. If you want to watch racing from down under, the best place to do that right now is on Clay-Per-View. You can check them out at clayperview.com, and I'm probably going to work towards adding them to the streaming schedule as well. With them kind of getting rolling again, I want to make sure that they're included, especially if you guys want to tune into some of those races. Last night at Rocket Raceway Park, Short Track Super Series Modifieds were able to get their racing completed to open the Cajun Swing. The Tuesday race was actually fogged out, so they ran both features last night. In the first show, Ryan Godown went on to the win when his nearest challenger in Andy Bacchetti lost a right rear tire late. Bacchetti actually led laps in that one, but was second at the time that he lost that tire. Jack Lehner and Eric Rudolph rounded out the podium in the first one. Matt Shepard ended up out of the race after mechanical issues stopped his night. That led to his 3rd straight DNF. That includes 2 DNFs at World Finals. He had problems again in feature number 2, but was able to bounce back to finish 5th in that one. In that second main event, things were kind of flipped between Bacchetti and Godown. Godown was actually leading late when he suffered a flat right rear tire, which gave the top spot to Bacchetti, who then drove on to the win. David Schilling and Cody Adams rounded out the night's podium. The Cajun Swing continues tonight with a stop at Arklatex Speedway in Louisiana for $4,000 to win. They're then moving over to Boot Hill Speedway on Friday and Saturday. By the way, I always try and spotlight other podcasts and episodes on my Wednesday shows. Yesterday, Sean was very upset at me in the comments that I did not mention that Scott Bloomquist was on the Dale Jr. download this week. I didn't mention it because Dale Jr. show isn't a dirt racing show, so it's not part of my podcast page over at dirttracker.com, and that's where I get the episode info from when I'm putting my scripts together. But if you're so inclined and hadn't heard already, you can find information in that show links, all kinds of stuff over at dirtymomedia.com. As for Sean, thanks for watching my, quote, copy and paste podcast. I also appreciated that he referred to me as Gen Z. I'm glad that my 39-year-old face looks so young that you thought I was born in the late 1990s. There are 5 items on the streaming schedule today. Flow Racing has the Short Track Super Series from Arklatex, Racing from Down Under at Greenstone Park, plus Flow 24/7. The XR Super Series is live on XR Plus from Las Vegas, and Fast 4 has Outlaw Karts from Roseburg. To see the full daily streaming schedule with links to watch, visit dirttracker.com/watch tonight. That's it for the show today. Have a good Thursday. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the show if you don't do so already. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.